everybody, Jennifer Schaus here, coming to you live from Washington, D.C., and thanks for joining us in our webinar today. Happy New Year to everybody. This is the beginning of the federal government fiscal new year. It's obviously October 1st, and we've got a great lineup today. It's a mix of both government and industry, and we're going to hear about best practices, and we've got it segmented by topic. So we're going to dig into some of our slides here. We don't take questions throughout the webinar, but it is being recorded. We'll send out the recording as well as the link to the slides later this afternoon once we're able to convert the recording into a MP4 file. So before we get started, just want to tell you a little bit about us. We're based in downtown Washington, D.C., and provide a variety of services for companies that are selling to the federal government. We don't deal with state and local or education, just the federal market. And so our clients typically come to us for anything from market analysis reports, business development. If it makes sense for them, we'll help them get onto the GSA schedule and manage that contract. And then also that post-award kind of back office compliance is another piece of our service. We do have a newsletter that goes out every Monday, which is perhaps how you found out about the event today. And that reaches over 23,000 subscribers, most of which I'd say 90% are probably government contractors or are government contractors. We've got some service providers and then some government personnel as well who are subscribers. We've been putting webinars on for several years, and so we now have a library of over 450 complimentary government contracting webinars, and they cover topics on anything from GSA schedules to business development, and then a lot of the legal pieces such as bid protest, FOIA requests, a little bit of everything. So you can check out all of our recordings there on the YouTube channel. What we did in, just to rewind for a moment, in 2020, we covered every part of the FAR, which is the Federal Acquisition Regulation, and those were run through sequentially. So we started with FAR Part 1 in the first part of January and then ended with FAR Part 52 in December. This year, 2021, which has flown by, we're kind of mirroring that process, and we're covering the DFARS. Those are Wednesdays at 12 o'clock, complimentary, so we're more than halfway through that series. If you want to listen to any of the recordings, you can find them on our website as well as our YouTube channel. We've also got the second Friday of every month, a new, well, it was new for this year, which is the GovCon Live Q&A Cafe. It's the second Friday of every month. There is a small fee to attend, which is $35. If you use the discount code DFARS, you'll get a $15 discount. Next Wednesday, we wanted to mention we do have a special, it's complimentary webinar in our COVID contracting series, and it's the vaccination guidelines for contractors and subcontractors, which recently just came out. So you can find that link to register on our website under the event section. Next year, we're covering, in the same spirit as the FAR and the DFARS, the FAR supplements. It's a webinar series. We're going to have primarily government contracts attorneys who will go through basically the agency and the department nuances that they have within their own department or agency regarding contracting and procurement. And then on that corresponding Friday, we'll have the department and agency playbook series. We're doing that in conjunction with FedMine, Archies and Meehan, and their group. So they're going to cover some of the opportunities. We're also doing this in conjunction with the McLean Group, which is a merger and acquisition outfit, and we will have government representation on most of those webinars as well. Sponsorships are available. One more thing I wanted to note is a new series we're going to launch is called the GIP. It's the Government Industry Partners. And so basically it allows you to conduct a webinar with us. We will help promote it, help you curate it. We're going to host it, we'll record it, and then we'll post your webinar on our website, YouTube channel So you can do this as a 1, 2, or 3-part series, and so this will be all about your business. So it's like today you'll present in front of a live audience, and as I mentioned, you get the recording, the registration list. So if you're targeting government contractors, this is probably a good service for you. And I want to make sure that hopefully everybody can see my screen. And so again, that service, this Government Industry Partners webinar series, is allowing you to conduct a webinar with us. Okay, just to let you know, next Friday is this GovCon Live Q&A Cafe series that I mentioned. So every month is a different topic. Next Friday is covering set-asides. With the folks here you see on your screen, most people that are in the government contracting sector are probably familiar with these names. And then in November, the second Friday is November 12th, and we will cover pricing. And Marcia, I believe, is joining us later today as we talk about best practices for pricing. And then we'll round out December with mergers and acquisitions with these 4 panelists. You can sign up on our website for all of these. So just go to our website, go to the GovCon Live Q&A tab, and you'll find the links there to register. Candace, thank you again so much for joining us. It was nice chatting with you as we were waiting to launch the webinar today, and I'm just going to dig in here to your best practices and let you run through those. So the floor is all yours.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I want to say good afternoon to all of the webinar attendees, and thank you to Jennifer and team for inviting the Washington Metropolitan Area District Office of the SBA to speak today. My name is Candace Miles, and I bring you greetings on behalf of my District Director, Mr. Larry Webb, my Deputy District Director, Ms. Sheree Mackin, and our entire office who continuously works tirelessly to serve the small business community. It's absolutely fitting to have this webinar to kick off fiscal year 2022. Happy New Year. And with that, I'm going to share my 5 tips on being successful in federal government contracting. My first tip is always to be specific. If you pop over to usa.gov, there's actually an A to Z index of US government and department agencies. And quite honestly, there are more than 137. You want to be specific and identify the 3 to 5 agencies you're interested in working with based on their mission and the services that they buy and the services that you offer. The next thing I want to offer is to always be succinct. You want to remember, you want to have clear, concise communication. And you have to remember the statistics right now says that it takes about 18 months or 9 touches with the contract officer or program manager before you can be offered or awarded a contract. When you're able to make contact, you always have to be ready with the opportunities that you've researched and identified from looking either at previous contracts awarded or at the procurement forecast. And you also want to have a white paper that can explain your successes and how you can help the agency meet their mission, or also be ready to explain your past performance history. The next thing I always like to mention is to be smart. You always want to make sure that you price for a profit. I definitely don't recommend cutting your prices to get your foot in the door. Generally, if another firm has done it at a specific cost, or if the government has done their internal government cost estimate, it's never a good idea to cut your prices. That can lead to burning yourself out or getting burnt in the end. And something else, when we talk about being smart, we always want to make sure that as you're developing your business development or business capture management plan, that you do aim to have specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely goals that you can measure and meet upon. The next thing is you want to talk about being significant. Quite honestly, in the federal government marketplace, if you haven't done it, you don't do it. You want to be able to explain your past performance and demonstrate that you are experienced with contracting, whether in the government or commercial sector. You want to be able to translate your non-government experience into terms that the federal agencies will understand. And in certain cases, it's always really important to be open to teaming or joint venturing, where you can increase your capacity and your capabilities to compete for contracts. And my last tip is always just to be sincere. People do business with people who they like. And especially in this COVID environment we've been operating in for over the last 18 months or so, people can tell in certain ways when you really enjoy your work and when you're being genuine or when you're just calling because you want something. Being kind and genuine can go a long way, and it also helps to distinguish you amongst your peers. And so that's it. When we think about government contracting, to be successful, be specific, be succinct, be smart, be significant, and be sincere.
Great, thanks so much, Candace. And now, what are the advantages of obtaining a federal government certification?
Obtaining a federal government certification will help you to compete amongst a smaller pool of people. So whether you are a women-owned small business, whether you're a socially or economically disadvantaged business, a veteran-owned business, or if you're located in a historically underutilized business zone, having one of these categories will allow you to compete amongst a smaller pool of people and not always have to go after opportunities that are for full and open competition.
Great, and thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks again, everybody, and thanks to our sponsors.